I guess it's time to see if it tries to turn, guys. I am so nervous. So I guess here goes nothing. What's up, y'all? Back again on the G35 with some great progress and some good news on this car. So first off, as y'all see, I did start running the wire that I did get. All the grounds are connected. Right now, what we're going to be doing in this video is swapping out that alternator and then connecting the power wire to it, and then connecting the power wire to the starter and seeing if we can get the engine to crank. And we don't want it to start or anything, just see if it could crank, make sure the wiring harness is doing what it needs to be doing, make sure the ignition circuit and all of that works and all of that. But yeah, just going to be making sure it can crank and not turn over. That's all we're going to be hoping for. But as y'all know from the last video, we got the plenum put back on, we got the intake put back on. Right now I have a bag over the air filter, so that way no water would just sit on it or anything. I have been, like I said, I put the grounds on, engine ground on this side. This would be for the headlights and I believe ABS pump that's over there. I did do the frame grounds over here. One goes to this part of the timing case, that's where one of the factory grounds went, and then another one went right here. Did that one. This is all 4-gauge wire, by the way. Have 4-gauge orange, pretty much what I'm going to use for my power wire from the alternator to the battery, and then from the starter to the battery. But yeah, other than that, we didn't change anything else. Oh yeah, I did put a piece of orange right here instead of that long piece of red that I did have. So now that's a lot shorter, so that should be a lot better. But other than that, let me show y'all. Oh, I did, let me before we get on the interior, we had 3 blown fuses on this thing, and that is what was causing the ECU not to turn on. So I replaced all 3 of these fuses. They all pertain to the ECU. So now if we get inside and turn the key, all right guys, yep, if we get in here and we turn the key, we now have a service engine light. I hear the fuel pump priming. I didn't see no gas leaking up front from the fuel rail this time like it was the last time, so that's a plus. That means we fixed that. But we have service engine light and everything else. I didn't have none of that before. Also do have I didn't put in the new transmission harness. I just plugged the connectors in because I thought that was the reason why I wasn't getting the ECU to turn on. Turn out it wasn't that, it was the blown fuses. So but right here I do have my scan tool pretty much hooked up. Looks like it's scanning right now. All right, and it is on, and now we do have some codes on here. We have P0227, P0221, 1224, 222. These are all pretty much to the throttle body and the throttle or the accelerator pedal down there. I don't know if that has anything to do with me putting the Z1 throttle body on, but I'll have to do some research on that and figure out why that isn't. But it's great that I can actually see that there's codes on the computer and that it's actually working the way that it needs to be. But that means I can actually get back to what I was doing originally. I can try to button up this interior some a little bit, but not too much, because there are some plugs and stuff that I may need to get to if there's any issues or anything. But for now, we are going to turn this off. Let's do that one more time, guys. This is just awesome that I've been able to. I hear the fuel pump priming. I also don't see no gas squirting out. We're gonna go out there and take a look at that right now. All right, guys, this is the side that was leaking gas on it. Like I said, it's not leaking gas no more, and it was that one right there specifically. But right now, I'm about to grab the tripod, set the time lapse up, y'all know, and we're gonna get this alternator out. So be right back. these are the new alternator versus the old one, just to compare, make sure they're both the same. And here we are. Yep, 2 plugs, and then right here is where the starter and alternator will connect, but we won't be wiring it that way. Wiring it back up, I think I am going to take this bracket off because I'll be able to zip tie the wires out of the way from the alternator and headers with this bracket. So that's just 2 little 10mm bolts, and looks like, yeah, looks like they go right here. So 2 10mm from there to here. Whole bracket should be able to transfer over. Then we'll throw it right back in. The bracket is all on now. Now it's just left time for us to throw it into its home over there, connect all the wires, and then at least grab a multimeter if I can find one and make sure it's at least getting power down here. Alright guys, we have the new alternator in. It was a little bit of a fight, but it's in there now. Now the next thing is to connect the power wire to the starter and connect both power wires up at the battery and pretty much see what we get. Alright, I have the starter wire connected. As y'all can see there, I do have a little bit more slack to pull up on the wire, as y'all see, but I plan on zip tying it towards the body away from the headers and getting some loom for it so that way it doesn't get damaged by heat or anything. But this right now will do to give us a test to see if the car cranks or not. So let's see if we get a crank out of it. We just have to connect our 2 power wires right here and then see if we have a crank. We're all connected now, guys. Now I guess it's time just to take the key and see if it tries to crank or anything. But I'm probably going to need to get some jumper cables on this because this battery was almost dead. It was only sitting at like just at 11 volts, so I doubt the starter will try to do anything sitting at that. So let me get some jumper cables on here real quick. All right, here we go, guys. Jumper cables are connected. I'm not gonna lie, I am definitely a little scared and nervous right now to turn this key, but we have to find out. First, oh, we have our battery light back. Didn't have that before when we first started the video, but have our battery light back. We don't have our oil light up there because I need to get a new oil pressure sensor because the part where the harness plugs in melted completely off. So I need to get a new oil pressure sensor to get that light back on. But I guess it's time to see if it tries to turn, guys. I am so nervous. So I guess here goes nothing. It tries to turn. Yep, that's all I needed to see right there. That's all I needed to see right there. It tries to turn. Now let's make sure we don't got no gas or anything squirting out. I don't see any gas anywhere. Look on the ground. Nope, don't see any gas or anything anywhere, but it does try to turn, guys. I'm definitely hype about that. Let me get the camera out here set up so y'all can see what that engine looks like while it's trying to turn. Alright, now y'all gonna tell me if y'all see any gas or anything leaking. I don't see any gas, guys, but I do smell gas on the interior. I don't know if it's me making up the smell, but I'm pretty sure I smell gas on the inside. But I keep looking all around again, so I'm gonna try to crank it again, see if I can see if the gas is leaking out anywhere. But I don't see any leaks anywhere. It might just be the fuel getting up to the engine or whatever, or it could be the fuel being pumped out of the engine, since it's I think two cylinders don't have any type of spark to it, so I could be smelling the raw gas being dumped into the cylinder and out the exhaust. So let's go check that out real quick. Okay guys, I knew I was smelling fuel from somewhere, and right here is pretty much where it's coming out at. These are the rubber lines that are on the side that the fire started on. So of course I'm going to have to replace those, but it's good to know that it's not coming from the injectors or anything on the top of the engine. That shouldn't be too hard to replace down there. If I had to replace the entire fuel line going back, so be it, just to be safe and no more fires. For the most part, we are almost done with this engine. That is definitely reassuring, knowing that the wiring harness that I got worked, the engine tries to crank, everything's working properly. Now let me just get the rest of the parts for this and get a first test drive out of it, hopefully in the next video. But other than that, guys, see you on the next one.